back is sour, and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it have one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try, just a little harder. If we just give one more try, life would be much sweeter. The treasury was full and happy time some was enjoying. It's in Mova and Laventille poor people was living. Now the treasury flat and the country come back.
Yes, indeed, of course, a pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago and wherever you are streaming on the World Wide Web. Pleasant good day to you. Well, yes, indeed, of course, the battle has been drawn. And, of course, the inevitability is that there could be only one winner. And the victor must be, of course, the people of Trinidad and Tobago as a consequence of course, winning with the UNC and its coalition partner, or put another way, the UNC, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and, of course, the coalition of interests. We have no choice at this point in time. We are faced with the Hobson's choice. We are faced with the inevitability that the destruction that is the PNM that have, of course, been witnessed by the population over the last 10 years. In addition, of course, to the anathema the people have, of course, for the leadership of the PNM, particularly, of course, both Rowley and Stuart Young for, of course, plunging Trinidad and Tobago into, of course, that abyss of destruction. And to, of course, have the audacity, the temerity, the gall, and the effrontery to, of course, not only tell us that they are promoting or are contesting this election with 41 seats. It's an abomination. It is evil. It is a direct affront to our conscience and our sense of right and wrong and moral and ethical and, of course, even ecclesiastic or spiritual belief. I say so because, of course, as a spiritual shouter Baptist, the very fact that they would have, of course, initiated an election inside of that very, what I consider to be very spiritual, an important occasion for the spiritual shouter Baptist. Let me shout loudly to this so-called Prime Minister, this lame duck Prime Minister, this Chinaman. I say to you, we are proud to be and are shouter Baptists. Let us not waste time. Your ignorance knows no depth. Your ignorance knows no depth in a very cosmopolitan country that has a respect for religious beliefs, ethnic origins, and indeed ideological dispositions, as far as, of course, they are within, of course, the confines of the laws of the country. So we have no qualms in telling Stuart Young, this lame duck, make believe, and just like, of course, the hospital that Rowley just opened, he and Rowley camouflaged to be a hospital, are talking about, of course, the central block, where they, of course, furnish with administrative material the ground floor, and then, of course, for random probably or for camouflage purposes, for public relations, gimmickry. They then, of course, have what they call a model ward on the 7th floor, so at least they get the opportunity to use the elevator, but nothing in between from the 1st floor to the 4th floor, nothing. And from the 5th floor, well, from the 6th floor to the 13th floor, nothing. These people are jokers. These people are consummate con men and women. And you have the whole population, and I say so from the point of view, because it is agonizing. They are torturing the people. They are aggravating the people. It's the same charade that they created, all the media, the world looking, social media, etc., and going through, of course, the procedural, constitutionally significant or mandated process by, of course, installing a prime minister who is well known and hold major public offices in this country were there. The president, presided over by the president of the country. And then, of course, just about 33 hours afterwards, almost a day or just above a day, you then, of course, call a general elections and telling us that you want to get it over and done with. So you don't care about the Muslims and their fasting, their month of Ramadan. You don't care about, of course, the fasting period as well for the Christians in the period of Lent. And you certainly don't care about the Baptist community, the Shouter Baptist community, that you gave a double whammy. One, to of course, be insensitive to the fact that this major holiday and significance to the Shouter Baptist community is on the 30th of this month. And secondly, when out of pure and unadulterated and what I consider to be puerile, infantile, clearly dunderheaded ignorance, you then say that Shouter is a relic of the past, trying a Rowley on us. We confirm that Rowley is an ass. But you being, of course, adding to that twinning, that Siamese twin scenario, that, of course, unlikely biologically and physically, that he could be, of course, your twin brothers, or you can be twin brothers, is obvious, not what any rational thinking person will conclude. They are twins from the perspective of their evil, internally and externally. They are evil in that regard, and therefore they are twins in that regard. Not biologically, because clearly one is a Chinese and one is a pure, of course, not half-breed, but a pure African biological specimen. With, of course, a fella with a bald head that tries to make it look as though it is artificial. He has a natural bald head, but want to make it look artificial. Why? And I always talk about, of course, Rowley's inferiority complex and his concern about the lack of pulchritudinous blessings, meaning that he has no damn beauty, ugly like sin itself. And so, in order, of course, to look presentable to the population and to himself, because I'm sure when he watches the turf of hair that grow around his occipital region and come to his temporal region, something like Wayne Mark, he don't like to see that at all in the mirror. But let's go straight to the line. Pleasant good night already. Pleasant good night already to the caller. Pleasant good night.
A pleasant good night to you, Uncle Lennox,
Yes,
and
man.
all your listeners and subscribers.
Yes, man.
And share the live, and we need the 40,000.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
Uncle
Thank you very much
Lennox,
for that reminder.
congratulations. It's coming forward to put your services where your mouth is and to stand up as a true patriot to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and most importantly, the people of Laventille and the Laventillians area, that true service is a service to God. And when you serve God, you serve the people. And when you serve the people, is God will you done. So, Uncle Lennox, as you are saying, the PNM and religious organization does not go hand in hand, because for the past 158 years ago and counting, the Shelter Baptists were still hiding and saying their prayers. I was never recognized to do their prayers openly and preach openly in the public and in their private spaces that are hide. It takes a UNC leader to take the yoke and to really free the spiritual Baptists on their venture to be free to ring the bell and spread the word of God in their own likeness and image. This is, and the PNM never wanted that. But today, Stuart Young get to realize that only they make vulnerable and dependent on them, and splitting the organization, giving some the recognition and downright neglecting others. The love for religion, they don't have it. Because if Stuart Young was a Catholic and a true Catholic, he would have never do what he does. Because in the month of Lenten season, as a true Catholic, right, you worship and you respect your God. And in Islam, look what he disrespect them. Because you tell yourself, those are the people who gravitate to the UNC and naturally the loss of respect for religion. What you want to call the IRO, right? They have the religious heads and saying it's the denominational schools under the coconut. So Uncle Lennox, that being said and done, we justify that Stuart Young and them have nothing. Why you don't say that you will free the people of the bondage to put them in? Because his last 10 years of service is their government rule. And he's still ruling till the point that they're doing things, but yet still not to the people of Laventille and the stronghold. So, Uncle Lennox, I would like to plead with the people of Laventille tonight, where this broadcast will be heard, and to let them see a sense of let's give them themselves a pride and give themselves that chance, because you have your track record through your organization of delivering for them and bringing a better life to their youth and the generation to come. No more. Let me be free from the PNM bondage. It's the PNM bondage we are in. And time again. And one before I go, Manning used to say, after he do his nastiness, he come back and tell the people, his supporters, he's a born-again Christian and he will be guided by God. He built a church in the right and then he suffered the people and course overrun. All through Petro-Trin, that way it goes today. Then he come again, Rowdy tell the people, his supporters, and he would win them. He said they can't pay property tax, they can't afford it. And he push it down their throat and tell them, no. It's time. We have to tell Rowdy, you get your money and the PNM or get all the money. Set them for the war now and fire them because the same thing they do the Upika. So, congratulations and all the best going forward.
Thank
Good
you
night.
very much, my friend. Thank you very much. Congratulations are in order, but the proof of the pudding, of course, is in the election victory. And the Laventille must be, of course, standing in the gateway and saying that we finally have made it through, of course, all of the turbulence and the evil, and that we are now counted because of the historic victory, 39 in Trinidad, for, of course, the UNC, Kamala Prasad Bisasa, and the coalition of interest. And let's go to the lines of person. Good night, welcome to the corridor.
Good night. They go Martin in the house.
Yes, man.
40,000 on this line, and I want to pick up Robert Mitchell. He has to be in the basket, and as we say, we want a white one. We want to be able to have a downpour of rain to wash all the blood on the street.
Yes, man.
Because mismanagement of this current government. I want to laugh, and you know who I want to laugh at?
Go ahead.
AG. Apparently, the coalition, the UNC coalition, he wants to stand alone. Stand alone. Lord is the way we have to go. I hear the only hope he had has moved from him. So he basically has been left with his pants down. But I want to respond to this. As security minister under the PP government and extension, it states as the commissioner of police. Remember how he made one of the worst decisions after he reflected it on what was happening.
Yes.
So he basically was thrown out from the wisdom of the PNM. And the Honorable PPB apparently got wind of what was happening and how he was behaving in the police. And he dropped him as a hot potato. So everybody is afraid of him now because he has questions to answer. I see another.
Yes, boy. I read the entire thing. I looked at the historical antecedent, and it's not looking good for Gary at all. It's a very complex, elaborate, what I consider the series of incidents that suggest that there was not, of course, a man in the office of commissioner that purported to be morally sincere and, of course, uprightly adherent. But it doesn't look good at all. But go ahead, my friend, I'll come and check on it.
Right, because there's another senior police officer.
Yes, he also made a complaint, and it's part and parcel of the bundle of evidence that was submitted by Duki on his behalf by his lawyers in taking the action against, of course, the state and the police and the city police commissioner. Yes.
Yes, and the fellow by the name of Duki. Evidence will be corroborated by the DPP because if he was working with the DPP when he had a desk outside somewhere to sit down, yes, to complete the case. But more importantly, let us go back and reflect on the sincere demand for he was in the bosom of the UNC for some reason or the other. Security minister, we had day of policing, right?
Yes.
But prior to that, we had the Blue Flu incident. You know what's the Blue Flu? The Blue Flu is when the GEB and Special Branch got through on it. They took the court for a couple of days and then left the AG at that time and the Prime Minister at that time exposed no security.
All right, good. Yes. That would have been Kamala Prasad as Prime Minister.
Right. That was Prime Minister. So you would tell me you were a Minister of National Security and you did nothing with respect to having these particular officers suppressed. Now, let us go to the Joint Select Committee report. You know, he was not called and he did to give evidence in the Joint Select Committee report.
Right.
Go back to the
Yes.
was not downstairs. And he basically was the Minister of National Security. So what was behind it? The fact that he was Minister of National Security. You could have put yourself into the GSC and raise your hand and say, look, I want to say something about this. And he didn't say anything. And when there were 2 recommendations that I could remember out of that Joint Select Committee. They said, okay, further investigation needed because they provoked Parliament. And what they wanted, the Police Service Commission to do it. The PCD the investigation. And the Police Commissioner, so he had to basically dig deeper down as a new entity, Commissioner of Police now, security aspect as the Minister of National Security. He should have taken decisive action to put back the police service on its true path. And you know what has happened? Most of those senior police officers who were found, their evidence was not forthcoming, was catapulted into the executive of the current police service. Now, most of them, and if you see what has happened, all of them are being castigated, most of them in the executive by judges who have found them wanted. Having said that, people have to reflect on, look at the evidence, look at the judgment, and understand he is standing alone.
Yes.
And I think something is wrong with him. He should have taken a back seat, go home, rest himself, and look after his loved ones. He's so power hungry that he doesn't understand that the population is looking at him with the eye now.
Of
Nobody wants to
course.
touch him like somebody do.
Of course. Well, clearly, he has been unmasked. That is clear. And as I said, I did some in-depth, of course, reading on the matter, particularly his visit to Cecil, his last name has eluded me, but both at the Forwards police station and in St. James, but particularly at Forwards, Big Martin, where he made several visits and had an encounter with the gentleman. He in fact has said that, listen, Gary Griffith asked the police choked him and of course put a gun to his head. All of that, and sometimes he rescinded that statement. But more importantly, he was shot dead in short order. Yes.
And nothing has happened to that investigation.
And nothing has happened because, of course, if the person in charge of the investigations, as Gary Griffith has, of course, been the beneficiary of by going to court, the government has something on him, but the government, of course, the then Prime Minister, initiated, of course, an investigative team. But of course, the court has said that that was illegal and was. But of course, that could have only happened because Gary Griffith was screaming to the top of the hill, to the mountain, and that of course that was impractical. It was unjust. It is contrary to, of course, natural justice, and he got his way. I wonder what transpired in that particular scenario where, of course, he had all the cards and played it to his total and absolute advantage.
Because one of the critical things he said, and I think his contract got the better of him, when he say they want to spend $15 million to give him to go after political interest. That might be his get out card from something serious, because you realize no political party really wants to reform its own political party.
And that itself is, I mean, his coalition is falling apart before his very own eyes, because of course, significant players, the PRO, then of course, then Tishera has said that they don't want any association with the Hope, but clearly would have put, of course, a dent on the ambition to be some kind of coalition force to contest the next election. It's going to be very interesting, but we know already the die has been cast, and it's Kamala Prasad Bisesa, UNC, of course, under the coalition of interest. There is no other player in this election. Oh yes, that was marvelous.
Just show them the code.
That's right.
I mean to say that's massive crowd. She has to do one in Central and she has to do one in North.
So therefore, what you do, you build it up to a crescendo. They say, of course, in these theatrical, of course, productions and so on. So you have a crescendo where the thing climax. But what she's given them is anti-climax right through. They believe in the anti-climax, but then every time she exposes her strategy to the public, you see that she has taken it to another height. So you cannot be guessing at all.
Teaser in your address is that you are saying when the other candidate is unfolded, you might be in for a sweet surprise of
Yeah, I mean, that is as cute as could be. I mean, I have never seen that in my life. I have been following the politics since 1984, really. And you know, I've never seen someone that even finally reach the level of this Kamala has reached in terms of positivity. And at the same time too, I want to say to the contrary, or in the other direction, I've never seen someone fall so low like Rowling and of course this George Jumper.
And you know what is amazing? She's so humble.
And still be humble, yes. That is. Anyhow, a lot of people want to come in, so you have to forgive them. Sorry about that, otherwise we can talk for the whole night. Yes, of course, she revisited who she is.
Right, and nobody wanted to offer her a place in the chamber.
Alright, okay, we have to go. Let me just... President Knight, welcome.
Lennox, good night. We're not hearing you United callers because of this video.
Oh, the video? Oh, alright, okay, thanks.
We're not hearing you United callers.
Yeah. Alright, thanks. Let me deal with that video. Sorry about that. What do I do? Alright, okay, I know what to do. Right, that should take care of it. Thank you very much. Of course, for that quality intervention. All right, so you shouldn't have a problem now with, of course, hearing. But I thought I should keep the video running because of the significance of the occasion. But let's go straight to the line. All right, Pleasant, good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Mr. Lennox.
Good night to you, my friend.
Good night to everybody that's on the line.
Yes.
Mr. Lennox, listen, two things. Well, first, let me start with the Venezuelans. I understand today the PNM pulling them Venezuelans and them now, boy. For them to come and vote in elections.
Yeah, but let me tell you,
understand that
let us get it clear. It is too magnificent. It is too huge, this election, to steal. And of course, we have to pay and monitor, of course, not just words, but it must be demonstrated by the presence of the Commonwealth Secretariat and that of the Commonwealth Secretariat and the Carter Foundation. You see those two institutions? Once they are here for that elections, I am extremely comfortable and confident that whatever they are trying will not succeed. But go ahead, my friend.
Yes. Okay, the next thing is I need to find out something. A police report. You could ask for a police report in the police station. Like if you make a report, you could ask for a police.
Because you are entitled to get a receipt, and where you are concerned and you want to get a copy of the report, then of course they are obligated, of course, to give you a copy of that which you would have espoused or the circumstances that caused you to be at the police station.
Yes, right. Well, that's what I wanted to find out.
All right, no problem.
Right? But there was something else, but anyway, I'll call back.
Yeah, call back. Yes, let me just get Miss Santa Cruz going because I see that she's raring to go. Pleasant good night, Miss Santa Cruz.
Screen blank off.
Yeah? Santa Cruz, I'm hearing you. Miss Santa Cruz. I just heard her said that the screen blank off. Well, it's not on this side. We are working, of course, these days perfect, almost, unbelievable, having regard to where we have come from in terms of course, clarity and in terms of course, of getting the program with the level of quality delivery that we desire and at one time had grown accustomed to, but now, of course, that has been revisited and we are now, of course, in normative behavior land, so to speak. Pleasant good night, Miss Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, you look as though you had a call back. Santa Cruz? Let me make sure. Miss Santa Cruz? It appears that she's getting some difficulty. So let's go to our next caller. Pleasant good night, welcome. Yeah, pleasant good night, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, good night, Trinidad and Tobago and the whole extension.
Yes.
Dr. Lennox Smith.
Yes.
Sometimes it have the program work going on with the background.
Yeah.
Sometimes you ain't hearing callers and them properly.
Right, so I took it off. I took it off. So that is no longer the case.
All right.
I took it off, yeah. Somebody called in and indicated that. My apology.
Yeah. I had a man that didn't know,
it wasn't showing up, or it was showing up on the screen, but I didn't pay sufficient attention to it. Go ahead.
Yes, the Chinese, right? Like he just as stupid as Rowley, because I mean everybody even calling in and letting them know we don't know that old trick. This outside election is promise. They want to spend this money, they want to spend that money, but they're still coming back with that old
and he can't spend it there because he can't spend it because he gave himself no time, because it's just a couple several weeks. So what you coming to promise people about? You ain't give yourself, you ain't taking 3 or 4 or 5 months to have people make a proper assessment based on your delivery. But you making delivery in a vacuum. You had to be a backside to be doing that. Having regard to how you came into the office that you have, which of course is a lame duck one. It has no impact. It cannot deliver anything because you have prorogued the parliament and you have called an election, and you call a snap election, not to say you give yourself a 3 months or 4 months, you give yourself a couple of weeks. You had to be someone who intended and have in fact committed political suicide.
That's right. Because I mean, everybody know that trick. You understand?
Yeah, you can't make promise at this stage in a vacuum. You begging to lose. You begging to lose.
Yeah.
Yes, you begging to lose, and you have handed, of course, the elections to the UNC Kamala Prasad Bisasan, the coalition of interests.
And what's something too? Instead of you, well, I mean, they have nothing to really campaign about, so that is that the most they could do.
Yeah, so he's in a quagmire. They have nothing to campaign on. You just get the prime ministership that you can't deliver anything is a lame duck. And all you want to do now is gaslight people and give the impression that she's a real prime minister. No, you are fake prime minister, just as the 2 buildings that they open, the central block in Port of Spain and the airport extension in Tobago. I mean, it's fake, a facade, a illusion, a delusion, and they believe that we that stupid that we will not see them for who they are.
Yeah, them as Rowley said, Trinidad and Tobagonians stupid. Them really feel stupid or not?
Yeah, they feel so, but that's just a feeling. That's just a feeling. Tobago, of course, set the pace after 21 years, 14. The lucky they get one. A vexer had to say one. It should be 15 none. But of course, in Trinidad, we expect that it will be 39 none.
Anyhow, Dr. Lennox, next thing too. Right? I don't want to say too long, but something wrong with you know how he could come and tell all you to change take out shouter. The name shouter out.
The main purpose, the main reason, the main basis for the ban and the legislative consequences that people have to hide and dodge the police in order to worship as they know how in a so-called free democratic country that has some respect for religious diversity. But he doesn't know. That's the problem, and he's pretending that he knows. So he's a very dangerous man. So he's probably more dangerous now than Rowley is madman on the loose, and his goose will be cooked on the 28th of next month.
Anyhow, I don't want to stay too long. So
yes. Okay, my friend. Thank you very much for calling.
The name of the PNM is the send home government. They want to send home everybody.
And of course, I would want you to contact me because we have a lot of work to do. You made certain commitment, and we want every hand on deck. If you can't, we will know, we will understand. But if you could, then please, of course, communicate with me, and let's see how we can utilize your talent, because you have some talent that, of course, you exposed to me, and I'm a person, when you expose me to, and I see talent, I make use of it because it will benefit others. All right, my friend.
All right. I will only accept because, because I mean, all of us have to contribute.
That's right. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. So, people, of course, you are seeing a video behind me. Not you. Go ahead. You can make a departure. Yes. Yeah. Contact me tomorrow. All right.
What time?
Let's say about 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock, 10, half past 10, because I will leave the program early, the ground report tomorrow morning. All right? You have a lot of work to do. Yeah. All right. So, people, of course, you're seeing a video behind me. And what's that video? Of course, all of you know now. That has been, of course, telegraphed across the globe. And, yes, I am a very proud man to know that I created, of course, what you are seeing there. Very few people, of course, have something in mind and have not been able to materialize it. I'm trying to get this call here whilst I'm speaking to you. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. All right, yes, I'm seeing it now. Right, good. Oh boy, yes, good. Okay, right, I'm seeing it now. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Welcome.
Lennox, a pleasant good night to you, Lennox.
I admire your tenacity.
I know when you see you get into office, you ain't taking my call again, because I see it from now.
Why say that? Because I didn't do it on purpose. The system, so the only time I wouldn't take it is if the system mess up as always mess up tonight. But go ahead.
Hey, Lennox, it was real messed up if you had heard the noise. And we were not hearing you and the caller. The first set
sorry about that. Sometimes that happens because you can't hear the video when you are in studio.
Oh.
So but there is an indicator to show that volume is on, but I didn't take note of it. So my apology there.
Right. Yeah, it was really loud. If you hear everybody on the chat, if you hear them, and I was trying to get you, but I got you.
Yes,
I got you, Lennox, and we are going to campaign from tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
We are going to campaign. Well, Lennox, I told you on the 15th of August, 2023, that I have started campaigning.
Yes, you did.
And we are going to ramp up our campaign now. Lennox, tonight I'm going to ask a question. Everybody talking about, UNC will lose and PNM will win and whatever. But I want to remind people, when PNM win, the country lose. Because PNM does nothing. Lennox, are you hearing me?
Loud and clear, my dear. Don't let that previous experience linger in your mind. It will just be yes.
No, you know what happened? The devil in the system.
I hear you.
They don't want to hear us.
Yes. So you have to be circumspect. Yeah. All right. Yes, well, there's nothing wrong in you verifying what you would like.
Right, and I can be heard.
Yes.
Yes, Lennox, I am saying that when the PNM win, the country lose.
Right. Because
PNM is not for the country. They are for friends, family, and financiers. I am asking, Xiao is saying, Zami Man is saying that he loved the people. Who do you love, Zami Man? Who you love? It couldn't be the PNMites who voted for you. Because did you recuse yourself one day for any one of your constituents? Did you recuse yourself one day for any other body in any other constituent? No. You recuse yourself to make your brother a banking billionaire and your father a multi-millionaire. And let me tell all this something, Lennox. Richard Young is Stuart Young advisor. Take my telling all you. Right? And I am asking Paul to get freedom of information if that man is employed by Stuart Young and how much he's being paid. But moving on. You so love the people of Laventille and you give them designer grocery bag to crap in. That embody all year. That embody all year. And I want to tell them again, when the PNM wins, 22 babies die in the queue. How many more must die? PNM win. And we had over 5,000 murder under their watch. Today, we are 96 murder in 85 days or something like that, Lennox.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Boy, 84 days. 84 days.
The murder spree
96
continues.
murders. That is what you get under the PNM. Right? Stuart Young is tainted wine in contaminated bottles. Don't let nobody try to fool all you that they're making him over. He's just like Rowley. You cannot make over our Ajang. You can't make him over. And a bully. Right? And I want to remind the people, All you know what all you had under Kamala's government. All you saw what happened to us for the last 10 years. I am here tonight pleading with the undecided voters or the fence or whatever you want to call the name. Whatever differences all you have with Mrs. Pasabi Sessa, because I don't know what she do all here, right? Well, we know Gary Abu put a lot of lies in slimy head. We know PNM I filling up his head with a lot of nonsense, right? I don't want to curse, I want to keep it clean, right? Filling up his head with a lot of nonsense, right? And he going all about and regurgitating it, because to hear him, Kamala's a big thief, you know. But I want to know, if Kamala's a big thief, why didn't they go to SRPK, go to the DPP, their doors wide open? You know how long they want to hold a UNC person, especially Kamala. But I want to tell him sticks and stones. Sticks and stones will break a bone, but words will never hammer, especially lies. And I am begging these people, right? I am a senior citizen. Vote for senior citizens to keep their pension. Vote for senior citizens to keep their homes. Because should the Zami man get in game, they are going to raise the property tax. We cannot make right now, right, on what it is, the 2%, far less if it raised Lennox. I want to remind them, Stuart Young and them went home. Stuart Young going home and Rory going home with $89,000 a month. Pensioners only getting 3,500. Thanks to Kamala Pasabi Sessa. In the 10 years that Rowley was there, they never once gave the pensioners $1. Or the disabled, never.
In fact, they tried to dispossess them of the entitlement by changing the name to a grant. Remember that? So as to suggest that it is not cast in stone as far as expectations are concerned. Yeah. And at any time the government could, of course, withdraw it. I mean, that was barbaric. It was inhumane. And clearly, of course, flying in the face of what I consider humanity.
To the heights, Lennox.
Yeah.
Lennox, and not that too. If we put away our little money to bury us, right? And they're going to come and tell us now that if we have that money, you cannot get a pension. No, people.
Yeah,
please, if only do it for yourself. Do it for the children and do it for the pensioners. Do it for the pensioners and them. Do it for the disabled. Do it for the underprivileged. Do it for the children of our country who fell through the cracks. Because under PNM watch, all you're boasting about PNM going to win. How many more of our children going to fall through the cracks? You understand? Do it for that. Don't do it if you don't want to do it for nothing else. Do it for those things. Let our children have a good life in this country. The same life that Rowley and Stuart Young and them want to enjoy, right? Let the children of this country enjoy it. And Lennox, before I leave, I want to tell you, we are now number 7 on the most dangerous country to live in, to visit. To visit.
Wow.
Right?
So we didn't move too far
under
from
the PNM, we are number 7. Imagine Jamaica beat us back. Jamaica.
Wow, Jamaica might have replaced us
Thanks a lot, Lennox, and have a good night.
All right then. Yes, indeed. Boy. Yes. Thank you very much. Of course, quite a mouthful indeed. And she is so right that, of course, just let your conscience be your guide. People, that's all I'm saying. That's all is required. Let your conscience be your guide. And the cliche that when the UNC wins, we all win. Or put another way, as is common these days, we must do better and can do better and will do better under the UNC, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and the coalition of interests. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Lennox.
Yay.
Can you hear me good?
Loud and clear, my friend.
Listen to me good.
Yes.
We have no property tax to pay or nothing because PNM can't win nothing. That's just start off.
Okay.
Right?
Love your confidence, man. That's the spirit. Go ahead.
Yeah. Listen, go to what I'm going to tell you now, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But I know you don't know, and I don't think I ever discussed this with you. Eric Williams had said he's going to create a Douglas population. Creator.
Yeah.
Chatparaj shaking the backside.
Yeah, so he's an engineer. Oh,
Yeah.
He's a bioengineer. Yeah, okay. Yeah. A genetic engineer. Go ahead.
Yeah. Chatparaj asked him, you're going to create for his God. But start him good language in the backside, eh?
All right.
And he dropped that. The next one, man, didn't come. But you might remember this. I say he taking the Indian out of Indian arrival there. Call it arrival there alone.
Yes. I remember that.
Again, Chatparaj shaking the backside. And up to it remained Indian arrival there. So I want to tell all these Indians who trying to fool. If he come Prime Minister, you know we attacking, you know, with the shout about this thing. If he say he going to do with Indian arrival there, want to take out the Indians.
Yeah, so those in glass houses must, of course, do the obvious. Either dope and stone or protect your own, particularly when your neighbor house is on fire.
Yeah,
well said, my friend.
Yes. Man moving, right? He will come and say, I'm moving the Indian from India. He will do the same thing like India. I'm like, Manin. And Eric Williams.
Yeah, because my first impression when he made that announcement about Shouter Baptist and somehow connected to colonial times, it really reflected on what you just said there. When, of course, Rowley wanted to take Indian out of it, and it would have had very little meaning because the Indians arrived just as how the Shouter Baptists were banned.
Exactly.
The Shouter Baptists were banned, and for whom the holiday on the 30th of this month has been issued as a recognition thereof. Yes.
And Basu Pandey man that we bring that holiday.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Right. So I want to tell all these Indians if all listening, if that so and so become Prime Minister, he's trying to fool all you know happening like Indian. But he found that we have trace and he have Indian in he and all this thing.
Yeah, that's hogwash. That's superficial and that is superfluous. It has no significance. It is otious. Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, that is just gaslighting extraordinarily because of a desperate man with a desperate party that clearly has no place in the annals of political history in Trinidad and Tobago and must be relegated to the dustbin of history.
Lennox,
yeah.
Anytime a man could watch two men going to the washroom, and the first thing could come in his mind, you're going to make Zami.
He perverted. He's a perverse, perverted, a predator, uncouth individual. Yeah, uncouth, yes, and certainly doesn't merit him being among civilized people because he's a savage. Yeah.
He's a last civilization playing on this program.
Yes. Well, yes. He's a latrine scavenger.
You like to sit on the latrine and watch eating fall inside. Watch me.
A latrine scavenger, yes.
I'm telling all Indian people, it's really like all you. If he come Prime Minister, he gonna want to come like Manin and take out the old Indian out of Indian rivalry. But better than he. We are not Chatparaj again, you know. What we have now for Chatparaj is a shadow. He's still on there. That man is a shadow of when Chatparaj was there. If Chatparaj was around, you think Short could come and do all that crap, Lennox?
No, he can't.
And try to fool Indian people.
All right.
Lennox shot they can turn in the backside with the Shouter Baptist thing, you know.
Yes.
I know when you go do it, but I know when you get time you go do it.
I'm speaking with Archbishop Barbara Greenberg. We are supposed to be meeting at the Empowerment Hall, but we will be making some pronouncements on the day itself to let them know once and for all that they must go and do their research. This government is a travesty, it's an embarrassment. It is really and truly an entity that has collapsed, and this lame duck entity seemed to further find ways and means. I don't know if they're doing it deliberately, but it appears to be deliberately. But every Monday morning, it's some stupidness that they are on that further, of course, send them to the abyss, not just of stupidity, but of course of no return.
Look, I can't say what
I know that. Well, I would say it for you in my terms: scams, rapscallions, scoundrels, and of course the people who believe that somehow all of Trinidad and Tobago are stupid except them. Well, the laugh will be on them on the 28th of next month. All right, my friend.
We slogan is this, yeah?
Yes.
Anyway, she win, everybody wins.
Everybody wins. That's right. Thank you very much. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Let's go to the lines. Of course, President, good night. Welcome to the corridor. Welcome to the corridor, Mr. Point 14. Yes.
Yes, Lennox Smith. Pleasant good night to you. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear, my friend. Yes.
All right, pleasant good night to everybody on the live. Well, Lennox, see what's going on now. I realize Stuart Young and them wanted to give all the faith a new name, you know. I want to believe you want to move it from Shouter Baptist to Shaolin Baptist.
Well, if it's so, that I want to take maybe part of the word that when they celebrating Dragon, the year of the Dragon, to take it to Dragon gas, that could never be. Yeah, Dragon gas that could never be. Make a mockery of the entire.
On a serious note, right?
Yeah.
On a serious note.
Yes.
These Venezuelans and what I have here, right? When they say they're going to give, I don't know if it's work permit or what. And these same Venezuelans and come here illegally.
Yeah.
Lennox?
Yes, yes.
So, Lennox, some watch out. I listened to teaching every program some days ago.
Uh-huh.
And Heavy keep asking the question, something is wrong with us in this country. But he actually said, but I don't figure it out already. It's Carnival, how we moving? So when I saw the documentary about Carnival from past, Carnival and present, it's Carnival, how we moving? So it took me 10 years to discover
you conclude that there's a Carnival mentality among the population?
Yeah, because it's a documentary I saw, right, because it's a documentary I saw on television. That is when TCT was CMNG. I saw the documentary there.
Okay.
And there was, they say that in the documentary, Carnival happy moving, so I don't care.
So you sure it's not marijuana that they have decriminalized or any other chemical potentially dependency drug that would of course be inimical to human beings and cause them to be in such a disastrous state in terms of decision making? I don't know. All right, that appears that. Oh boy, sorry about that. You know what happened there? My phone needs charging. Tonight is one of those nights. You would have of course noticed and suspected that I'm extremely tired. Yes, I am. But of course I may want to close off a little earlier than usual. It is now 12 minutes past 9 o'clock. But had a hectic day today, and of course, but let me just conclude. The phone is charging. I don't know if you call, if I'll get you on the system itself that is in front of me. But let me just say to you that yes, Robert Mitchell is the candidate for Laventille West. He was presented to the population on Monday by Kamla Prasad Bisesa, our pick for Laventille West. So the Laventille Outreach for Vertical Enrichment is firmly entrenched in the coalition of interests and with the UNC. But let me say this as well. that there is a requirement of the Laventille people across the board, whether it be Laventille East or Laventille West, to, of course, do your duty, be part and parcel of history. I want to tell you as well that Laventille West will be the only constituency that will be voting for its own candidate. Own here meaning bred, born, engaged, and of course the symbol, look at there, is the rocket. No other constituency in Trinidad and Tobago for the April 28 elections will have any semblance of that symbol. Only Laventille. And today I was having a discussion with, of course, businessmen from Laventille, and of course in and around that services Laventille, across George Street, etc. You know that the businessmen that would be on Prince Street, between, of course, George and Charlotte, and then those on Charlotte Street, where you, of course, you make your shopping, whether it's grocery or whether, of course, it be food items that you get a little cheaper than, of course, going to the grocery, or in numbers that would more satisfy your needs and at a price that you feel much more comfortable with, or believe that, of course, you can make, you get a bargain as far as that is concerned. But the point I am making is that all of them have decided to climb the hill. Climb the hill. Because people will know them. Because when you alight from a taxi from on the hill, you must come out somewhere between Nelson Street and Prince Street, and then, of course, trek into, let's say, the heart of Port of Spain, across Prince Street in particular. Not that it's the only street, and therefore you are not in a cul-de-sac, a one way in, one way out. No, but the likelihood that the majority of the residents who must come to town, because remember, one of the things we will have to solve collectively is that delivery vehicles do not go up to Laventille because of whether it be for gas, cooking gas, whether it be for soft drinks, whether it be confectionaries, etc. Simply because the experience has been that they have been robbed. We have to fix that. And not in no brash, harsh, and of course, what I consider to be, as I'm seeing, international notice being taken of what is called, of course, extrajudicial killings. Quite apart from killings as a result of what I consider to be gang feud. Gang feud. Warring gangs. We have to fix that. And I'm saying so not out of any kind of ad hominem position, meaning that I saying it off the cuff of my head because I feel to say it and because the idea came. No! You see, we have been involved in this process since 1984. When we created, of course, the Mobile Laventille Improvement Organization Trade School. Sometimes we call it, of course, the Mobile Laventille Trade Complex. And it was as a result of recognizing the brewing or the increasing or the nascent stage of course, a group of young men and women who not only began to say that to live up to 20 or 21 is to live to old age. That's a serious indictment. Young people are saying that when they live up to 20, 25 years, they are old. And they are saying so not out of ignorance or any kind of hairy-fairy disposition, you know. They are saying so because if you gravitate to a life of gangsterism, the likelihood that you will die around that age is real. And has been so for some time. And so the trade school that we created, and I want to thank Robert Mitchell for not only attending, because you will see us unfolding information that will make your spine shiver and make you cause your hair on your skin and head to raise. You see, at a younger age, he found himself in a situation where he ended up in YTC. So that is why we are saying from YTC to Parliament for this young man. YTC to Parliament. He has grown, and you will see, of course, in the background, let me just remove it so you will see for yourself. I prefer, as you know, to be pragmatic and to be practical. Let me just pause that picture. Let me just pause that picture if I can. Let me see. Slideshow. All right, good. Let me just, when it comes back. You see, this young man has not only been an exemplar to, of course, his community. Trying to pause the video. Let me see if I could do it. Or I could cry it back. All right, good. I could cry it forward. Right. But I can't. All right, let me pause it here. Oh, boy. Let me see. Let me just. Right, good. Let me just. All right. We just try it again. If you use a new piece of technology here, let me see. Right, good, I got it. That picture you're seeing there speaks volumes. You see, he was made to be the chairman of the Laventille for Laventillian organization several years ago. And look him there working hard, feverishly, delivering agricultural tools for an agricultural project that was, of course, engaged in at what we call 9 stories in Movant. You will see another picture in that, of course, montage. A woman receiving, of course, food hampers, recognizing that the female in, of course, Laventille in particular, are left with the responsibility of the children, by and large. When you hear single parent here, in that context, we are talking about female. And so, of course, led by him, we designed a program. We had to find the resources to fill the bags and then, of course, to distribute. So that woman is one of many that have, of course, received assistance. You will see as well in that montage, 4 pictures, you will see young children seated. Well, that was a seminar for career development, enhancement, and, of course, making use of opportunity. In other words, capacity building. And look, you will see they're very young. And the focus there is to prevent them from saying that to live to 25 is to be old age. Because, frankly, in all natural, human, biological circumstance, you now start to live. You're young. But they are saying, in the Laventille context, to live to 25 is to live to old age. Robert Mitchell made an intervention. He was firm, dynamic, very sensible and sensitive. You see, I'm making the point because I could have easily been the candidate, you know. There's no one, whether Hines, whether Leons, all of them put together, have more knowledge and have done more without any government assistance than Lennox Smith and the various entities with which I am associated and have always been, of course, making interventions for the amelioration of the circumstances of the area. Of course, as someone said to me some time ago, having all the ideas is irrelevant without power. It took me some time to understand that. But when I did, I moved expeditiously. I moved with alacrity to, of course, rectify that deficiency. And so, love was produced. We went and registered a party, but in order, of course, to really capture the imagination of the people, we had to come up with a name that would, of course, be easy to recognize, easy to associate with, and at the same time show the creativity and the elasticity of our commitment to addressing the problems of the Laventille community. And so, Laventille Outreach for Vertical Enrichment, which is the spelling out of the acronym LOVE, L-O-V-E, Laventille Outreach for Vertical Enrichment. That's how we came up with LOVE. You see, it is important to understand that you could be the best well-wisher, you could be the best orator of course, policies and programs that should be or ought to be. But if you can't get them off the ground, waste of time. And so, whilst we were able, of course, to get off the ground, projects you will be hearing more about in Beetham, in Silats, in, of course, and around Nelson Street, etc. Gonzales, in the middle of the constituency of Laventille West, I'm talking about the Ogaro lands. At the northern side of the constituency, I'm talking about, of course, the community that dwells or exists just behind the Las Alturas debacle or collapse that was the subject of a commission of inquiry. Yes, behind there, south of it. Whole community inside of there were almost washed away because of the ineptitude and the lack of respect for the community by the HDC. And clearly, it was done under Rowley as Minister of Housing. The man is totally blight as his, of course, his successor. And we can go further west in the constituency and, of course, conjure up and identify MLI. There is a banner, or more specifically, advertising what I consider to be pole, advertising pole that has, among other things, a police post, and below that you have MLI. It is really Mova Laventille not improvement, but MLI, Mova Laventille Initiative, yes. Mova Laventille Initiative. It was converted, of course, under Kamala Prasad Bisasa by a very deceptive, a very, what I consider to be disrespectful, and I will say it, Roy Augustus, who was at the Ministry of National Security when that program was there, languishing and available. And when they realized that it was, of course, Lennox Smith played a critical part in that particular project, and I'll give you the details in due course. They changed the name to MLI, making life important. But of course, a rose by a different name is the same damn rose. And more significantly, if you were not the author, you can't implement it. So I want to tell you that there is a sign up there in Gonzales that talks about MLI, but was never implemented because it wasn't their idea. They don't know. We're going to talk about it. Laventille, I'm saying to you tonight that you have a mission and a rendezvous with destiny. When you go into Chinatown, we started to develop an initiative there where, of course, we got a minister to come in there to look at all of the requirements of Chinatown. And on the eastern side of the constituency, bordering, of course, Chinapoo, as well as, of course, Parsley Street, where I am from, Smith Lane. There was, of course, a similar development to where the land was moving and properties were being destroyed. And I wrote to Patrick Manning at the time, and he sent, of course, Imsbert to look at the matter with immediacy. And I had him on purpose jumping over stone. Yeah, negotiating, of course, canals, streams, and have him, of course, sweating. You can imagine that he was a little whiter then. He wasn't as polka dot as he is now. He wasn't, in other words, develop a personality like Chucky then. The point I am making is that we were able, of course, to begin the process of addressing that problem, not entirely completed since then, because I say, well, listen, I am not going to help the PNM look good. And I will tell you something, I am prepared to work for free in Laventille to treat with all of these and other problems that are plaguing that community, whether it be borderlines, or whether it be, of course, gang wars, whether it be infrastructure. Our roads are deteriorating, but of course within that we see opportunities for employment generation. Yes, indeed. And of course, the idea of eliminating or reducing to an appreciable standard the advisories against Trinidad and Tobago in the metropolitan countries, whether it be Canada, whether the United States, whether Europe, inclusive, of course, of the United Kingdom. We are going to, of course, as we have done already, bring elements that are resident here in Trinidad, such as the Dutch embassy, or ambassador, such as the British High Commission, such as, of course, the American ambassador, and the Germans and so on, who can, of course, provide assistance because they have budgets that are available to them that they can, of course, put in. In other words, I'm saying that all of that resource, know-how, and networking will be put to work inside of Laventille because we did it before. It's not like any other PNM now, then candidate who, of course, would depend on the, thank you very much, who would depend on the government to take the initiative. No, we're not going to do that. It can only assist, and we know that Kamala Prasad Bisesa, once, of course, you are demonstrating. Because, as I've always said, you solve the problem of Laventille, you solve the crime situation. I talk about blue-collar crime in this country. And don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, because every time they talk about some home invasion, especially if it is in close proximity, let's say it is in the northern side, and the police luckily happen, of course, to get a tip-off, and they do the investigation. Either the car that they use is found in some part of Laventille, East Port of Spain, as the case may be. And, of course, the identified suspects are from some part of Laventille or East Port of Spain, Beetham, Sealets, etc. That is where we are. It is not about bringing some hairy-fairy, abstract, enigmatic, unsubstantiated, untested project to you. No. I challenge the PNM candidates in the Laventilles in particular and Port of Spain South. What have you put on paper to show that you have the real interests of the people and the process for transformation? Because transformation cannot only be physical, you know. And the PNM style of transformation is that, listen, they want, of course, those apartment buildings in Port of Spain, and they will transfer the people to another place, and that's about it. And the problem still remains. In fact, you would, of course, intensify the problem by, of course, transferring people into other communities previously were not, of course, engaged in what I consider to be the proliferation of anti-social behavior, including, of course, crime and criminality, and a subterranean culture that, of course, many of our children will not want to be exposed to, such as, of course, values like, of course, you're young, but, of course, you're stretching your nails, your nails further than the table, or you have eyelashes that are scraping your glasses, etc., etc. That kind of value system. Yes, I can tell you because I know. When you see these young men and women wearing large pieces of gold for chain and, of course, wristband, and some say slave band, but I prefer to say wristband, I want you to understand that it's not just a cultural thing, but for them, it's one of survival as well. So that when things get hard, which is inevitable, always does, whilst, of course, it embellishes and people are conditioned to think, well, oh, that fella have a nice piece of gold, boy, let me go and get a better one, and so on, and it engenders competition. But it has a much more what I consider to be survival importance or survival function. And that is when things get bad and hard. We saw it, of course, a very, very pellucid during the COVID period. They run down by Y Dilemma, they run down by Mirage and pawn it to get, of course, some kind of resource, financial resource, immediate, so as to bubble up a pot or to probably pay a particular bill. Maybe it may be light bill, for example. That is what we are talking. We know, we understand. And Mitchell is the man for the job. From YTC to Parliament. And as I've said, I will work for free for the rest of my life once Laventille played their part in getting this young man into Parliament. Into Parliament. As I've said before, you cannot be asking me to do what the government should do, and then the government is not doing it, the PNM I'm talking about, and you give them your votes, and you expect me to provide, of course, the hampers when you are in need, and of course write a letter to HGC and elsewhere in order to get some kind of grant for books or grant for repairs, or indeed a contract so that the people can make some money and help each other. And you don't give me, of course, the power that resides in the state and the access, of course, to state resources, including the treasury of the country. And as I have often said, that if they give me a chance, I empty the blasted treasury in Laventille. I know that's a selfish, of course, position to take, but that's how I feel. I am not stupid, so I know it will not be practical. But what I know for sure, that with a prime minister like Kamala Persad-Bissessar, not like Rowley saying, we cook. No. We will be eating the best cuckoo that money can buy, or grandma or grandpa or any one of the members of the families can produce. Understand that. We need to take this conversation not just seriously, but to each other, and to, of course, begin the process of deconditioning and make you understand that your circumstance is one that was created by the PNM, and that therefore we have a duty and responsibility to abandon that crop of what I consider to be retrogressive evil, and replace it, of course, with our own, which is, of course, love, Laventille outreach for vertical enrichment, because we are not talking about futuristic, neither are we talking about things that we are going to promise, when in fact we have already started to work, and what we will do is build on what is there already, whether it be in Beetham, whether it be in Chumakak, whether it be in Success Village, whether it be on the hill, whether it be in St. Barb's, whether it be in Gonzales, whether it be in Sugra Trace, whether it be Low Place, etc., etc., etc. That is what we are talking about. I want to say that the existential threat to all of that is the PNM operatives on the ground, who, of course, are getting some trinkets like a URP or CPEP without contract or work, and that they are satisfied because every time they go traditionally and vote for the PNM, and they are comfortable with that, and at the same time, when and in between elections, they then, of course, cry from the suffering that they are engaged in, and of course they are made to believe that these trinkets are really the sum total of what they can be and must be, and therefore the quality of life and standard of living continues to deteriorate, particularly when they are making children, and of course the children will have to be fed. And then, of course, you see them gravitating to a life of crime and criminality, borderlines, and, of course, and gang warfare, because, of course, mommy and daddy simply cannot provide for them with a URP or CPEP job. At minimum, it is ephemeral, it is temporary. Ephemeral. And therefore, what is required is a higher degree of sustainability. And it here means that sustainable jobs whether you want it, of course, in the corporations, or whether you want it by way of your own business. And even in those circumstances, notice what they will do around this time. They will give you, of course, a couple of contracts and so on, in spite of the fact that the police say, no, don't give these guys any contract, because they will take the money to, of course, start to kill each other, and, of course, have a stash of weapons to execute their friends. And all right, I hear the phone, but it's not mine, because I just engaged mine. So I know people were trying to call in the meantime. I thought I should take up your attention. And I did say that I'm feeling a bit tired, that I will be off early, but it's already 9:45. So it means as though I may well go straight to the 10 o'clock closing point. But that being as it may, the fact of the matter is that we have a duty and responsibility now for our own destiny. I was told when we started in 2007, Lennox, how the hell you could have a party for only 3 constituencies: Laventille East, Laventille West, and Port of Spain South. You can't win no election with that. In other words, you can't form no government with that. That was the talk then, among others, of course. Because you see, the people of the area doubt themselves too damn much. Well, I want them to know it is we who gave the country the latest instrument that is being, of course, percussion instrument that is being, of course, utilized, admired, and revered all over the world. I'm talking about the steel pan, man. We gave the country that, and therefore the world. We gave the country calypsos and carnival, and today we cannot even, don't tell me I know what I'm talking about, because why would you begin or the carnival, I should say, every year with Cambule, and why would you say that it must be held the attempt to recreate that auspicious occasion where the people resisted the authorities there, the colonial authorities in particular, because they were trying to humbug their carnival or their mass. Why would it begin on the greens and effectively between Prince and Piccadilly streets? Because it is there that all of those around there, that particular community, Delson Street, Duncan Street, etc., that occurred to resist the authorities from attempting, of course, to emasculate and to stymie the people from expressing themselves by way of mass and therefore carnival. That's why it is held there. Cambule, yes. We gave them national culture. And what has happened over the years? Partly because of the people themselves, I agree, and partly because, of course, of the ineptitude and the disrespect and the betrayal of the PNM being in office for the longest. And we have, of course, demonstrated a loyalty that is unprecedented because the PNM never lost, of course, in the Laventilles. Never lost. And in return for that loyalty is neglect after neglect. It is, of course, the deterioration of our infrastructure, whether it be roads, whether it be drains, and, of course, our buildings. As the population grows and more people are intensely occupying rooms that suddenly have become smaller in homes, whether it's bedrooms, whether it's living rooms, whether it's kitchen. As the population grows, we have seen no serious effort to, of course, ameliorate or to improve. And I say to you, you cannot tell me that you don't want anything in return, of course, for putting a party called the PNM in government? What are you saying? That you are contented by your conduct? You are contented. We are contented to give them the whole blasted treasury of the country with billions of dollars in it. And you don't mind if they use it for their own aggrandizement. They suddenly get rich. Their friends and their family and their finances get rich beyond measure. And you are prepared, of course, to remain or become further pauperized. What kind of equation is that? What kind of logic is that? No, we have done it for too long. We have absorbed like a sponge the brutality of the PNM, the evil of the PNM. We have absorbed it like a gigantic absorber. Let's go straight to the lines, of course. Let's go straight to the lines. Sorry about that. We had a little cut because of lack of battery deficiency. Battery deficiency, I should say lack of that, but battery deficiency. But go ahead, my friend.
Lennox,
yes,
Kenrick, man. Kenrick.
Yes, man. Go ahead, man.
Yay. I'm glad to hear you on, man. You wasn't on yesterday.
Yes,
anyway,
man. Yes.
Yeah. I know you're busy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so I see something on on the social media about that they're giving $10 million to the
Baptist
committee.
Yes, for a cathedral.
Right. I understand. That's good, right? Why now?
Why now? And it's not even why now. Is part with this last tranche of 20 million. In fact, to build a cathedral. The fact of the matter is that the Shouter Baptist community worships different to that of the Christian Baptist community, but the Baptist or the Christian community are the recipient of that money because the PNM recognize them as their ally, if you want to call that, or as their favorite, whereas the Shouter Baptist, led by Archbishop Barbara Gray Burke, have not been considered by the PNM for such a substantive, what I consider to be offering. And because the government does not understand the dichotomy, the difference, is no way you could say you're having a cathedral for the Baptist community. You're talking nonsense. Well, let me be a little more graphic. You're talking shit. Yeah, talking shit.
Exactly. It should have been for everybody. And I shout at Baptist or.
Well, what you do,
Baptist.
you give every one of them their own cathedrals.
Right.
That's what you do.
Right.
You see, because they are not the same.
Right.
But because the government favors that grouping, they give them that kind of money and claim that it's for the Shouter Baptist. No, you think Archbishop Barbara Gray Burke going on a Sunday, whenever it is, to worship and whatever they construct it, because they worship differently. Archbishop Barbara Gray Burke, for example, they revere women to ascend to the highest level in the faith as Archbishop. Those that the government is supporting with this $20 million, don't do that. Men have to dominate in that particular religious dogma, and we have no problem. That is their dogma. That is their, of course, rituals, etc. But to say that you gave 20 million to the Baptist community and then want to engulf Archbishop Barbara Gray Burke and the shouters in it, I think it is not just ignorance. I think it is disingenuous, because I expect fellas like Rowley and they to understand, because we did make the case to Manning, and Manning understood because since Eric William days, he wanted to set up a cathedral, but the Baptists had to come together. They cannot come together. They worship differently. It's similar to the Sunni Muslims and that of the Shiite Muslims. They can't come together.
Yeah, because they are the the Shango Baptists and the Shouter Baptists.
Beautiful. And you have the Hockett Baptists and the Fundamental Baptists, and we can go on and on in terms of terminologies like that.
I know, Mr. Lennox. I know because remember I told you one time.
Yes.
You had a lady. What she was a Shouter Baptist. It was a other one. Yeah. The other one.
So it is those differences, but kill the PNM dead. All Baptists are the same and they have to come together and so on, but come together only in the context of that grouping that favors them or they reciprocate favors. Because I remember very distinctly when the NAR had lost the 1991 elections, and the PNM could not have used race because A.N.I. Robertson was an African, and by that time, of course, Pandey had left the arrangement. You know what they do? They get the Baptist community to say that Robinson put a dragon on the Red House. You understand? A dragon on the Red House.
Right.
Yeah. In order, of course, to split and to pursue their agenda against the Indian community, etc., and say that. But of course, they didn't want Robinson to be as popular among the Africans. So they came up with the idea, and the Baptists were in the square saying to take down that dragon. That time, that was that, and still is, a weather vane. But true to form, when Imbert and they got into office, they went up on the rotunda of the Red House, take down the weather vane that is really a sea serpent, and if you see it, you will see that it resonates with, of course, the mermaids and so on that are part and parcel of the spring in Woodford Square itself. That fountain, you will see that there was a similarity because when the founding fathers of Port of Spain, remember the Port of Spain, so it was a port, and in those days, they have all kinds of superstition about the sea and dragon and so on. Right. So they had these what I consider to be scaled creatures that they invented and put there on the Red House, and of course in the square. They were there forever. If you go right now in the town hall, you will see a picture of the original rotunda with, of course, that sea dragon there, and that is what Rowley and Manning and they converted. So desperate were they for power that they converted that to getting the Baptist community to say is a dragon on the warehouse. On the rotunda of the Red House, and that was keeping down the country. When after Imsbert went up, caused to go up on top there and removed that weather vane and put a dove that you don't know if it is a dove, if you go there right now, you see it. You will see. You don't know if it is in flight.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Yeah, but the point I'm making, you don't know if it is in flight or if it defecated, or if it raise up your wings to defecate. You can't tell. You don't know if it's in flight, if it landed, or if it defecated. Well, just a few weeks after, about 13 people died in the St. Anne's Asylum in the madhouse from food poisoning. Right. That's on record. Right. That's on record. Nothing different to when Rowley went up to Central, having closed down, of course, the oil refinery, and say that they have this new technology turning diesel to, of course, environmentally friendly fuel, and he cut the ribbon and so on, and about a week afterwards, the whole thing blew up. The whole thing blew up and had the whole of the southwestern peninsula in fright and in flight. In fright and in flight. These people are dangerous and they are blight.
I know. Well, we have one here, you know. You see what's going on. Anyway, let me go into that.
Yeah, let's not go into that too much. Let's focus on Trinidad and Tobago for the time being.
Let me tell you something, right?
Go ahead, yes.
When I went up to Trinidad, I went to Sandy Grande.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I did went on not butcher, but I campaign for you all. Let me tell you why.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Ojo Road in Sandy Grande. Fishing Pond, all about there.
Yes.
All is my family.
Okay.
Do you know? Parade. In Ojo Road, all is parade.
All right.
Parade in Ojo Road on Sandy Grande.
Yes.
Back there.
Yeah. Okay.
I parade.
Okay.
Parade. I shouldn't parade from some Maya Road.
Right.
It's my mother. It's my mother, brother-in-law, you know.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Russian parade is my mother, brother-in-law, son.
All right.
Right? So I did when I campaigned with Parry and them with my cousin and them, all of them is cousin, my cousin. You know?
I see.
You know? So I went and campaign, I tell them, listen, all the time thing, UNC, yo, yeah, and I talk, all my cousins, I tell them, they agree.
Right.
So I have them in the bag.
Right.
So I went up in a campaign, I went up in Ojo Road, and then I went up to Fishing Pond. I have a lot of family cousins that still living over there.
Yes.
You know, because my cousin, my mother side about 9 sisters, 6.
Okay.
No, 3 brothers and 6 sisters.
Like you have almost half of the constituency eligible to vote in your family. Or?
That's what I'm trying to tell. All they see Sandy Grande there. All they see on the warehouse on there.
Yes.
It's Pareno.
Okay, good, great. Well, then we'll say fans
so
and Grande.
I talk to them and I will tell them I campaign for them. I did when I can. When I had to do my job.
Beautiful, you know? beautiful.
Because they're studying Russian Parry down. They don't study he down. You know, that's the whole family. Like,
yeah. I understand.
But they think they were UNC, right? They got UNC.
A thin line of the family, yes. Okay.
But they was talking about, they're not talking about they should give him a chance because he with UNC. You know, I said, well, yeah, you know, well, he need to kind of close his mouth a little bit.
Yes.
You know? So we they agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, family, we are a family.
Yeah. Because I mean, what you want is the vote.
You know, what you want is the vote.
That's
so
right.
they all voting for UNC.
Beautiful.
I went to all of them, talking about all of them,
and I expect the same to be on this occasion as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do my job, man.
All right, my friend.
I do what I can.
I want to really profusely thank you for the assistance you provided. It has come in handy.
No.
In fact, tomorrow we'll be setting up a new studio in the constituency. I should say the campaign office. I shouldn't say constituency yet, because the proof of the pudding is on the 28th of next month. But so we'll be setting up, and that camera will be coming in very handy to, of course,
I was just going to ask you.
And then
just going to ask you. They carry out 34 gigabyte. You could put. I should have got you a 1 or 200 or 300 or 290 gigabyte. I should have give you buy you a chip. That stores additional information. Yeah. Stores.
Well, if you can put it to me, I will appreciate. All right. Okay then. Well.
All right. How they working? We tried out.
Oh, we're looking good. We're looking good. We will be, of course, launching.
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I say how the camera. I know you're looking good over there. Yeah. I say, well, how the camera work? You tried out?
Oh, yeah. Magnificent. A lot of clarity. You know, very, very clear. The picture you feel is natural. You could, if you have a piece of orange, you figure you could take it out of the person's hand. That's how clear it is.
Oh yeah, it could be. Yeah. You could get a tripod for it. You know, you get a tripod for it.
I have a tripod. Maybe I should.
You got a tripod?
I can't turn the camera here for you to see it, but I have it on a tripod right now.
No. next time. When I come down there, see you.
Yes,
I'm
okay.
sorry I didn't come down and hang out when I was going to take you for
Yeah,
dinner.
that's all right.
hang
That's
around
all right.
with
That's all right. I mean, they say
you want Andy, and then Andy says,
yeah, they say
you know.
way meet you in pathway, so it in pathway, so it means that it is yet to be accomplished. All right.
Anyway, I come down there. I might be coming down the end of the year again. We
Good.
see.
And we will see under much more, let's say, hospitable circumstance. Yes.
No, I come in to celebrate.
Right. That's what we're talking about. Much more. Yeah, hospitable circumstance. All right, my friend. Bye-bye.
All right, then.
Yeah. Yes,
Bye-bye.
indeed.
All right.
People, of course, we have come to the end of tonight's program. I said that I was not going to last until 10, but it's 3 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock. But let me just finally say to you, Laventillians, quite apart from what I've said earlier, I trust that you would have been thinking, and when you go to bed tonight, you do some thinking, because it is crucial, including, of course, those persons who believe that somehow you are attached to the PNM boogie, so to speak, and that the activists and the persons who they would have recruited for canvassing and street captains and so on, to make you continue, of course, to be narrow in your thinking, and then continue, of course, to treat and be loyal to someone or something or an institution, in other words, the PNM, and have you somehow believe that because it's your right to vote, somebody had to choose. No, democracy is not meant to operate like that. Democracy means and is meant to, of course, to vote for people who will improve your circumstance, and not mama guy. This PNM is a government or a party of mamagism. Look, a whole hospital block, they try to hoodwink, and expanded airport in Tobago. They try to tell us that it is complete and give it a different name. They call what? Some construct opening or something like that. Words to that effect. As so vexed, I wouldn't even commit it to memory. But a pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Mr. Lennox.
Good night to you, my friend.
Would you present the more candidate?
No. We only have one candidate, which we have taken the hardest seat, comparatively speaking, in the country to, of course, challenge the PNM. Yeah.
Right. And one more, Mr. Lennox, would you get time to speak on any platform before election?
Yeah, I will be speaking on all the platforms.
Oh, because I can't wait to hear you, Mr. Lennox. You have a lot of vision.
Thank you very much.
I would like to hear you read out for the generation, and the plans are looking at that a lot, because from South and I'm taking a lot of advice from you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. We will have a lot of that. Yes.
Right.
As we go through the constituency, and we have, of course, joint meetings and so on with the coalition partners, etc. And of course, these plans will be rolled out, because it has to be. Trinidad and Tobago must be transformed. We have people who have the capacity to, of course, deliver, and to, of course, deliver in a manner that everybody would be able to benefit, those who are so inclined and engaged. And more importantly, as I've always said, Laventille, if you solve the Laventille question, you solve crime in Trinidad and Tobago. I know that for sure.
Sure. I believe that's what you said.
Yes.
And I would really like to, I feel when you start to speak on them platform, it will make a difference. I know that it will make a difference.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your confidence.
Yes. God bless you. Thank you.
Same to you, my friend. Same to you, my friend. Yes, indeed. Well, I just want to close with, of course, there is Robert Mitchell, the candidate, the love candidate for Laventille West, giving away a computer to a little boy. Look him there. You see me I was a bit younger at the time, so looking maybe different now. But of course, there is he in the cap, giving, of course, a computer to a lad on the B-thumb. Why? Let me tell you this as well. You see the date on that newspaper clipping. It means that it was before Kamala Prasad Bisesa, the UNC, came into office. What does that say? It says that when we looked at the situation and computers were now becoming popular, there was a technological or computer, or what I consider to be a digital divide, where when we looked at it, the residents of Laventille, Mova, and environs were not familiar at the time with the computer. Long before, or should I say just before, of course, the smartphone came into common use. But we saw the advantage of having, of course, computers. And we always said there'll be no need for libraries and so on. And we came up with a project called A Computer for Every Home in Laventille. You know what I say? I say that was visionary. That was prophetic. I can't say prophylactic, but prophetic. Prophetic. We didn't know that Kamala Prasad Bisesa and later down the road the popularity of the technology would take such flight to the point where there's no need for us to have a program like that again, because of course everybody has a smartphone now. But the fact of the matter, then there was a tremendous divide and a deficiency that we felt we must, and we went into action, and we write this one and write that one, and all of the computer salespeople and all of that to get these computers. And of course, this man, Robert Mitchell, was at the helm of that at the level of the Laventille for Laventillians UTAM perspective. A pleasant good night. Welcome. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Hey, Khaled.
Yes, Lennox.
Hey, pleasant good night to you, my friend. I'm still on air, so you're right on.
Good night, my brother.
Yes. Tell me.
It's okay, good. No, what it is, I'm calling for was a more private thing. But I was talking private.
All right.
Thing that you had set out for me.
Yes.
I wanted to check it out. You know
Okay.
what I'm talking about?
Yes, definite, yes. All right, I will.
Yeah, I need that.
Somebody just told me just yesterday, you are a man needed in these times. But of course, circumstances beyond your control. So they said that I will have, of course, to act as a double giant. Right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
They told me that today.
And they told me that today, but you see, sideline. All right.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? Yeah, what? I'll call you tomorrow, but I'll check on it.
Yeah, check on it.
Definite,
all
yeah,
right,
because and at any rate, well, it's until the 28th, and for sure it will materialize.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Yeah.
All right. No, but you're sure what I'm talking about, because you're talking about the 28th when it's election.
No. I'm talking about the Attorney General's Ministry of Legal Affairs. Right?
Beautiful.
That's all? Right. So you can't say I know. I'm just saying that the government will change on the after the 28th, which will make that process even easier. That's the point I was making.
Yeah, well, Lennox, before I go, just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before I am feeling confident. I'm telling somebody today.
Yes.
I am feeling confident. I mean, it's a certain key seat that I might be worried about if people go at other parties fight, like Gary and St. Joseph. I kind of worried there.
All right.
But Carson tell me, Carson working with the man and helping manage the campaign,
Yes.
So
everything will be revealed in due course.
Yeah, he say he feeling good, right?
Well. I have been saying is 39, so feeling good is an understatement for me. 39 in Trinidad. That's it. Yeah, wasting no time. So why you think I up right now talking to the people of Laventille? Right now.
Yeah.
They better be on the side of history.
I hear you. Who is your candidate to have Laventille?
Robert Mitchell, fella from Passy Street side, right on the edge of the constituency of Laventille West. I don't think you would know him. It's a fella that I nurtured from a very long time, but he came from YTC, so the slogan is from YTC to Parliament. Yeah, you see, everybody else have law degree, and like people like Hines and of course the current contender and all that, they are law degree and so on, but they don't have the wiles and the knowledge of the ground. And it's about time, of course, because these fellas have been tried and failed. Hines notwithstanding, and he's a lawyer. So let us get, of course, the true grassroots from YTC to Parliament. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, and with people like you and I know you'll come back in time to assist in the delivery aspect of it. Yes.
In July, I'm coming back for sure.
Well, beautiful, right? So it wouldn't be too long from now, and after the victory. Yes. All right, my friend.
All right, so we'll talk.
Yes.
All right, so.
Okay, yes. That was, of course, Dr. Khalid calling me. He's in the States right now. So he called, of course, to find out about some matters at this hour, but he took the opportunity, of course, to say a few words as well. So let's, normally Dr. Khalid will be with me on a Sunday, but of course he is, as I say, indisposed at this point. Pleasure, good night, welcome.
Good night, Mr. Lennox.
Good night.
What about your other two candidates? We are hearing nothing about them two candidates.
All right, no, what's happening is that when I met with after the invitation by the political leader of the UNC, I did indicate that the candidate that was there in 2020, I am satisfied because I managed his campaign. So he was a UNC candidate. So I said that I don't want to displace him for another one of mine. You see, that is what has created the problem with the constituencies. People in understanding, and the selfish and all that. But I didn't think that I have to demand that I get it because I have a candidate, and my part of the arrangement is that all the Laventilles I must control. No, I didn't do that. So we agreed that they will have the candidate for Laventille East Movement, and they will also have the candidate for Port-au-Prince South. So I remain, and the Lord has moved in mysterious ways as far as I'm concerned. I end up getting, of course, and very, very pleasantly and receptively, the hardest constituency to get away from the PNM in the whole country. Not so? Laventille West. Because when PNM, they do a number and you're on top there, I mean, it's a tremendous number. So, and they never, of course, abandoned, I shouldn't say abandoned, but they never, of course, quitted the PNM. But they have been, of course, badly treated. They've been badly treated all these years. And we are saying, of course, on this occasion, be part and parcel of history, and let us get them inside the 39 seats in Trinidad for the UNC and the coalition of interests.
Oh.
Right? That's
I call my family in Mofa Laventille where they live in and tell them vote for you.
Right, good. Yes, that's all right. When they vote for UNC, because you see what will happen in Mova, you wouldn't get a love sign, or you wouldn't get a love symbol, the rocket.
Oh, UNC.
Yeah, you get UNC, that's right, UNC. But in Laventille West, you wouldn't get a UNC symbol, you will get a love symbol, the rocket.
Oh.
Yeah, so we will be competing with the PNM there in Laventille West and in Laventille East. Well, of course, the PNM will be competing with the UNC candidate or the symbol. All right? You just explain. All right?
Okay then. We
Yeah,
want,
but
we want that
it's one love,
comfort
one love,
move.
one family.
Okay then, thanks.
Yes, no problem, no problem. All right, people. So yes, indeed. So I'm sure that from that explanation, most of you will gather what this system is and how we will be proceeding. As I said, I could have been the candidate, but I didn't do it because I think you should give the young man a chance. And from YTC to Parliament, I think that is. I think the people of Laventille West in particular will identify with such a young man. All of them, from top to bottom. It's not a matter of moral or anything like that. He did what he had to do, and as I said, in that picture you see in the back of me there, a young man from the Betham. Yes, benefiting from, of course, the initiative that he would have taken, guided, of course, by people like myself and so on. But the fact of the matter is that he did it, and therefore he has started to work. And in such circumstance, you cannot tell me that a man will come from, he only know one part of the constituency, and he may be in danger himself because is a young man. He may be in danger in other parts of the constituency. But with our candidate, any part of the constituency, simply because he worked across, notice I gave you, of course, east, west, north, south, and central, work that has already been done and needs to be capitalized upon. Has nothing to do with no sympathy for no damn PNM and the Balize or some individual who want to put this election on their resume. That is not what it is all about at this stage. Don't feel that you're obligated because he's a young man and he's a lawyer. No. Who could deliver? And if Maurice Marshall, that's the comparison, if Maurice Marshall couldn't deliver, even though he tried, and I want to tell you too, that I used to be advising him when he come around Wharton Street and so on, and he's sleeping in the car, tired like hell, doing them sulfur projects and so on. I used to advise him. And there's some certain encounters I will share with you. He couldn't get the PNM to release anything, even though he had a good heart, a big heart, a small man, but big heart. And of course, some people say that he got an assignment that caused his untimely death from Manning because he was too popular. So we know what the cycle is, what the process is, what the scenario is, what the modus operandi is. And therefore, the PNM cannot be and must not be seen as affordable to Trinidad and Tobago, far less for the constituencies of Laventille. Let us understand that and let us do what is required, if only for our children, and to break down that borderline and the gangsterism. And as I said, I will never say, you never hear me say, get rid of them youths and them. You never hear me say that. I don't care who they are. You never hear me say that. You never hear me say that they're buying guns and so on, and as a result, they should not eat. They are part and parcel of this society, and we have a commitment to address that problem. And I'll tell you how we addressed it before, and we can do it again now. All them fellas you see who may be tough, appear to be tough and so on, they really are not, you know. It depends on who. Whether it be Rennie Paul, whether it be, of course, Sean Francis, whether it be the Sa brothers, whether it be those in the Beatam, whether it be those in the Silots. I would go there, sit down on the block and talk with them. Yeah. I know that that will bring chills down the spine of anybody to just go inside of those places. Having regard, of course, recently to, of course, you're saying that they had some civil war down in Sealats, for example. But we know what the problem is. They can't go in there with nothing. Heinz tried that in Beetham and he was run out of there. First man I see run on water. He do better than Christ. Run on water. So let us not be perturbed, Laventille. Let us do what is required. Change the PNM. 5 years is not an eternity. They would like to tell you that, the activists, and we will look at the role of the activists and they inside of those communities, including those who are heads of party groups and all of that, and projecting themselves to be saviors and intelligent people. But right outside their door, they cannot speak to the young man who may be exhibiting behavior that are not consistent with a young man looking to live a fruitful and complete life. Let me put it that way. We're going to be talking about it a little more. So yes, people, of course, I thought it was important, of course, to just give an introduction to who this man is. Yes, I think he's 51 years or 50 years now. But 30 years ago, he started, of course, this journey. And, of course, I nurtured and supported him all the way. I nurtured and supported him all the way. You will hear some things that you would never believe that it could happen in Laventille. That has happened in Laventille. Best kept secret, because Rowley and Heinz and they wouldn't want you to know, for example, and he didn't want you to know that it was Lennox Smith's idea for the Laventille Technology and Continuing Education Center. My idea, that had nothing to do with them fellas. And just in case, of course, you are in doubt, or he may want to make you have or be in a state of ambiguity, let me tell you, then who you would trust? A man who created MLIO, the trade school, and this man who had no track record of any kind of education, any kind of training, any kind of association with, of course, young people. And when I say I created that particular facility, and he say I lie, or he said it's he, I wonder who you will believe. A man with no track record, or a man with track record of doing this as if it's nothing. In Grenada, for example, you will see it. They call me a hero across there. When, of course, in St. David's, I created, of course, the Grenada Development Committee. And in about 9 months' time, we had graduates coming out of that facility. The government renovated, of course, an abandoned fire station building. And the congratulations were, Mr. Smith, if it wasn't for you and your intervention, we would have been, of course, in the garden planting or picking nutmeg. Yeah, that is the kind of accolades, the kind of responses you get when, of course, people appreciate what you would have done. Of course, there is the biblical, of course, a statement that says that, of course, a prophet in his own land is decried, is degraded, is not appreciated. But there's also the saying, biblical as well, that the stone the builder reject becomes the cornerstone. Well, today, love and all its associates and history has become the cornerstone for the Laventille community because the PNM have failed us. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless See you, of course, tomorrow morning on the ground report, Andy, Mikey, and myself. And we'll be back here tomorrow night, where we'll give you more and more. And we'll have the candidates as soon as we settle downstairs. On Friday, we will be, let me just send an invitation to everybody. We will be launching, of course, with a press conference on Friday at 10 o'clock in the day, in the party or the constituency or the campaign office on George Street, yes. And then in the evening time, around 4 or 5 o'clock, we will be hosting a meeting, battery of speakers, businessmen, etc., at the corner of George and Prince Streets. Right, so we have a date on Friday. One day, we are going to be doing both items. Of course, we're too close to Port of Spain. The main town in Trinidad and Tobago, the seat of power, the Parliament, and of course the Whitehall and President House, etc. The main thoroughfare in the country, and be so poor. No. And when I spoke of latrine some time ago, some fella called in and say, don't say that. We have to say it if it is a fact. But we are saying it from the perspective that the PNM has been around for too long for the Laventilles on the hill there to, of course, still have latrines. That's the point we are making. Don't miss that at all. Do not fall prey to those slipshod so-called intellectual, pseudo-intellectuals who for a CPAP contract or a CPAP job or a URP ghost gang or opportunity to stymie and to poison your thinking. When I say so, I mean that the PNM has been around for too long and have controlled the treasury of the country for too long. So it is almost impossible under normal circumstance for there to be latrines still as the major human solid waste disposal mechanism so close to town because there are other factors. A good breeze blow from up there because, of course, winds are known or breeze are known from the direction they come. So you have northeast trade winds that come over the Laventille Hills. But suppose, of course, a fly gets on one of those latrines and the breeze blow that fly into some restaurant in town. You understand where I'm coming from? A public health disaster could take place because the person who may be infected with maybe dysentery or some other fly-borne or insect-borne disease ain't bound to be from around town, you know. They came to town because they want to see about a bird paper or see the lawyer, as the case may be, or come to court. And they went and eat. And they're going back to San Fernando, or they're going back to Princess Town, or they're going, you understand? So it's a whole country could be infected by having the existence of latrines on the hill. And that is a serious indictment on the PNM. I want to tell you that as Vice Chairman of the East Port of Spain Development Company, where the UNC gave me a chance to be, we were feverishly engaged with the support and or the guidance of the Port of Spain Corporation. We had a latrine eradication program on the hill. So there's less now, but I sincerely believe that there are more to be eradicated. And eradicated here means you don't give them a place not to dispose of their solid waste, but you create water closets type, with soak away, etc., so that, of course, you minimize. In other words, you give them a flushing toilet facility so that you minimize what I've just said as a potential public health disaster that could occur. And with increased population and increased carelessness or neglect of the area, the possibility that we can have a national crisis of the type I just mentioned is real. It's real. But let me go, people. Of course, I said that I'm tired. It is already 30 minutes past 10 o'clock, but I could talk for the whole night, but the body will, of course, respond and reject, and you wouldn't want that, a matter of fact. So, thank you very much, of course, for viewing and listening, and let us end as we started. Yes, indeed.
So the treasury broke and they say that we set and jamming. So no foreign countries really start migrating. They lose faith in the country, they say we gone down the drain. They say no more could we see happy times again. But the will to recover in my people like have confidence. Although many may seem to feel that I talk it nonsense. But the majority of we decide we're not going to run, because now is the time to show we patriotism. For we country facing, it's that is our. So our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it have one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try. Just a little harder. If we just get one more try, life would be much sweeter. From the country, we analyze just what was the problem. Yes, we start making very positive moves to solve them. We fired the old set of managers we had working, and it's a new group we went and we bring in. And if the goods we require, them new managers not supplying. When election time come back wrong, it's new ones we bring in. But if it's one thing about my people, I could guarantee that they would never ever put party before country. I know the country